And we're back with AP as we see it, and we were discussing the March Madness on the men's side, the NCAA basketball tournament. The finals will be held in San Antonio, as I mentioned, but we just want to thank our sponsors, Greer's Marcus, 29 locations, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi. Remember, you can purchase Lucy's famous recipes. She has a book out now, and she has those recipes online as well, so you can look, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel by reviewing her recipes. We have Groceries to Go, Family, Friends, and March Madness. It's Family, Friends, and March Madness. You can check online and click on Groceries to Go. Have your groceries delivered to your home, your office, any venue you choose. There's weekly specials online. We have the coloring contest is monthly for the children. And also you can turn to Greer's Groceries for special occasions on holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, fresh produce, dinner essentials, delicious food and snacks at unbeatable prices. Remember, Greer's got it. We'd also like to thank the people, as I said, at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta. They were my host for the Maxwell Awards. We had a sensational time there. Spacious rooms, beautiful indoor pool, workout room, right in the heart of Atlanta. Ben Giacomuro, he does a terrific job there, him and his staff. It's so hospitable, and we'd like to recommend that anytime you're visiting Atlanta, check out the Cortland Grand Hotel right there in downtown Atlanta on Cortland Street. So we just like to continue. We were discussing the South region. We have the 3 teams from the SEC. There's 13 left because Texas was beaten by Xavier in the game earlier this week. The playing games, they held in Dayton, Ohio. But anyway, Auburn in the South, Texas A&M number 4, Ole Miss number 6 in the South region. Auburn is the number 1 overall, and that regional final will be in Atlanta. But the games, as we mentioned, for Auburn, Lexington, Texas A&M is in Denver, and Ole Miss is in Milwaukee. Now we're going to move to the East region, and the East region, that final will be held in Newark, New Jersey. We have Mississippi State, number 8. They're a 1.5 point favorite over Baylor. That game is in Raleigh. Mississippi State, 21-12, 8-10 in the conference. We have St. Mary's will play against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's the number 10. Vanderbilt's a 3.5 point underdog. That game is in Cleveland, Ohio. Vanderbilt, 20-12, 8-10 in the conference. So that game's in the state of Ohio for Vanderbilt, which is not too far. That's a good site for Vanderbilt and their fans. Just drive up to Cleveland. It's really close by. Alabama also plays in Cleveland. They're the number 2 seed in that region in the East. Cleveland, Ohio, 25-8, 13-5. Alabama, 22.5 point favorite over Robert Morris out of Pittsburgh. So Ohio, that's not too far for the people in Alabama if they really want to make that trip to see their team. So those are the 3 teams in the East region. Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State at number 8, Vanderbilt at number 10, Alabama at number 2. That Alabama team, they kind of stumbled as well as Auburn at the end of the season. They're trying to get things together. Nate Oates, he discussed really about his team. He really put it on them. How far do they want to travel in this final to get to the Final Four? And they had an excellent run last year, making it for the very first time. They have the capability, but Alabama's a team that can score, top scoring team in the country, one of the top scoring teams. Can they defend? Can you play a little bit of defense? Vanderbilt's a balanced team. Playing St. Mary's that's an excellent program out of California for those who don't know. But can Alabama play a little defense? And Nate Oates, he challenged his team to give better effort on that side of the ball because offensively they're going to put some points on you. But defensively, right now, they are challenged. They are definitely challenged. And they don't have to play the top level defense. They just have to play better than they've done in the last half dozen games. Because Alabama, offensively, they can put 100 points on you. I mean, very few teams can score 100 points. So if you just have the mindset that you're going to play defense and rebound, you'll be just fine. We're going to look at some of those stats later on of all the teams, some of the critical stats. We'll go over each team's important stats and ways you can win basketball games. Now we're going to travel over to the Midwest. In Midwest, the regional final will be in Indianapolis. We have Georgia, which is a 6.5 underdogs, 6.5 point underdog to Gonzaga, and they'll be playing in Wichita. Georgia sitting at 20-12, 8-10. That's in the Midwest region, playing in Wichita. We have also in that region Kentucky. Kentucky will be playing them in Milwaukee. That's very close to Kentucky. But Kentucky could be playing in Antarctica. Their fans will be there. Big Blue will be there in force. But Kentucky's the number 3 in that Midwest region. They're playing Troy out of Alabama. Kentucky sitting at 22-11, 10-8 in the conference. That game's in Milwaukee. They're 11.5 point favorite. So that's the 3 versus 14 game. Then you're looking at also in that region games to be played in Lexington. This will be Tennessee at number 2. Number 2 in that region, the Midwest region, 18.5 point favorite over Wofford. Tennessee, a very good team, came in second in the conference championship game for the league. Of course, Florida was a championship, won it on that Sunday. Tennessee 27-7, 12-6 in the conference, but that's in the Midwest region, which will be played. The regional final will be in Indianapolis. Tennessee is a good team. They have suffocating defense, and the problem has always been with Rick Barnes. Not a problem, but just a concern sometime offensively with Tennessee and Rick Barnes' teams. But they can be a Final Four team because defense travels well, and it's stifling at times. Tennessee has a good team, couple All-Americans. We'll discuss that in the future segments here. So that's the Midwest. We're going to move out to the West right now. That's the 4th region, and that region ends up in San Francisco. And you have Florida's the number 1 team in that region. Their games will be played in Raleigh. Florida sitting at 30-4, 14-4 in the conference, number 1 seed in that region, playing Norfolk State, 28.5 point favorite. Florida is a team that won the SEC, the tournament at the end of the year. They were a dominant team. They can go inside, outside. They can play fast. They can play slow. They have the most versatility that I've seen in not only the SEC, but maybe in the country. So that's why people are leaning on them as maybe one of the favorites to win this tournament, win the tournament in San Antonio, win the Final Four. And they've been to the Final Four, nearly half a dozen times with various coaches through the years, won it a couple times back-to-back with Billy Donovan and company. But Florida is an excellent team. One team that's in that region that I would not want to play is Rick Pitino St. John's, because Rick Pitino is a coach that can beat you with less talent. I'm not saying he doesn't have a talented team. Obviously he does. They have about 30 wins. They won the Big East title, the conference tournament. Terrific coach, excellent team. But I would not want to play Rick Pitino in this tournament because, as I said, he's one of the few coaches that I would list that can beat you with lesser talent. So moving right along, we have Oklahoma as well, and on the West, be playing in the West region. They'll be playing those games in Raleigh. They're the number 9 seed. They're a 5.5 point underdog to UConn, the 2-time defending national champion. UConn has had its trouble this season, gotten beat by many teams that you would think years ago they just would roll, but they've had difficulties. But maybe they rally. I don't know. But Oklahoma's in the tournament, number 9 seed, 20-13, 6-12. In the conference. We also have in that region playing in Wichita, Mizzou. Mizzou is a 6.5 point favorite over Drake. So Mizzou, the number 6 seeded team in the West region, playing in Wichita. They're 22-11, 10-8 in the conference. So Mizzou had a big turnaround, did not win a game in the SEC. That's incredible. Did not win a game in the SEC last year. Here they are, number 6 seed. I mean, they didn't get in by the skin of their teeth. That's a solid seed at number 6. Moving on, in that same region, we have Arkansas, number 10. Arkansas, number 10, they're a 5.5 point underdog to Kansas. Kansas is number 17, Arkansas, number 10. That game will be played in Providence, Rhode Island. Arkansas, I think that game matches up with maybe I believe it's the winner of the St. John's game. So you could have Calipari versus Patino in that next game if Arkansas is fortunate enough to win. But they're 20-13, 8-10 in the conference, playing in Providence, Rhode Island. So those are the four regions, the SEC teams that are still alive. 13 of them. Like I said, I've said it many times leading up to this tournament, you have to have 4 or 5, and that's a low number, reach the Sweet 16. 4 or 5 reach the Sweet 16. Minimum of 1 to reach the Sweet 16. It would be better if they had 2. You'd feel very successful if 2 SEC teams reach the Final Four in San Antonio because you're getting so many opportunities. 14 team, which is a record number of men's teams in the tournament. Like I said, the record was 11. I think that was by a Big East one year, several years ago. But 14 teams from the SEC. But anyway, we're going to come back and continuing discussing the men's teams and the women's team and some other topics involving college football. We'll be right back after these messages with AP as we see it.